My country is a union of many different ethnic nationalities. We have peoples of different races, of different religions, of different beliefs. But we want to build that nation into one which is united in its endeavors to promote the welfare of all its peoples. This is not a struggle that can be achieved successfully, that can be concluded successfully without the help of friends and supporters everywhere. When I attend gatherings like this, it gives me great pleasure to be able to say thank you to all those who have stood by us through the difficult years and who I know will continue to stand by us in the difficult years still to come. For we have not yet achieved our objective of a democratic society, a society where the values which put human rights above the rights of those in power take such firm root that they can never be dug out of our soil. It is people like you who have helped us to continue. When I made my first journeys abroad after after more than 2 decades, I was touched and encouraged by the number of young people who supported us, who knew of our struggle, and who sympathized with us. Young people are the hope of our race, of our human race. They are the hope of our world. And I was touched that they were interested, young people from all parts of the world, from developed democracies where there was no longer any need to fight for their daily rights, and for those countries who, like us, still had to see the light of a system where people were valued, each and every one, simply because they have been born as human beings. And all these young peoples were so full of enthusiasm and so full of sympathy that I believe we can hope for our world. But I also believe that hope is hope only if it is attached to endeavor. Otherwise, it's simply a pipe dream, not the kind of dream that can be realized, but just the kind of dream that drifts away without leaving any results of any kind. Results is what we want, and results is what we need. We in Burma have enjoyed the great goodwill of peoples all over the world since our transition towards democracy. I say our transition towards democracy rather than to democracy, because we still have a long way to go. But the goodwill of the world is incredible. I think this is because everybody wants to see a happy ending. People want Burma to succeed. People want to see Burma as a symbol of a country that has been able to cast off years and years, actually nearly half a century of military dictatorship, to become a thriving and vibrant democracy. And it is this desire to see us succeed which has gained us the attention and the goodwill of the international community. We must not abuse this goodwill. We must not make those who have this goodwill feel that they have been let down. We have to progress towards success because we owe it not just to our people, but to the world. And in this, I would like you to be aware of the fact that you must judge us by results, not simply by intentions. True goodwill has to be based genuine, true goodwill has to be based on a hard-headed approach. We need your help, but you can help us only if you are able to recognize what our difficulties are, what our weaknesses are. It is not enough simply to focus on what we might be capable of achieving. You have to look at what we have managed to achieve over the last 3 years since the transition began. What we have achieved is far from enough. Let me be open about this, because for me, progress means genuine change in the daily lives of our people. And until our people can say that they know that their lives have changed for the better, we cannot claim that we have been successful in the democratic transition. We have yet to achieve that state when our people can say our lives have changed for the better. We still have to work towards that goal, and we would like you to help. This is why I've always advocated cautious optimism, because optimism that is not held back in its rightful place by caution and by an intelligent observation of what is going on will not help us. It will in fact hinder the process, because it will stop us from taking the steps that are necessary for genuine progress. For decades, when people did not believe that we would be able to achieve our goal, we have been emphasizing the need for national reconciliation, for the rule of law, for accountability, for transparency, for respect for human rights. National reconciliation is absolutely essential for our country. I am sure many of you are aware that there is still ethnic conflict in my country and that there have been communal problems lately. These are problems that we must resolve for the sake of our country and for the sake of the world. We have to show that differences can be overcome. We have to show that we as human beings, are capable of resolving our differences without resorting to violence. My party, the National League for Democracy, is totally committed to non-violence in our struggle for democracy. We believe that means and ends cannot be separated, and unless the means are right, and unless the means are in keeping with the noble ends that we espouse, these ends in the end will become distorted and disappointing. Which is why we are prepared to take longer along the road to democracy than to take a shorter road which is less acceptable from the point of view of human rights and human values. Ultimately, I do believe that human beings are rooted in positive emotions, in what we would call, among Burmese Buddhists, loving kindness and compassion, and the desire to rejoice in the good fortune of others. Unless we are able to cultivate these qualities, we would not be able to build up a community that is gentle, that is sympathetic, that is progressive, as well as successful. It is not enough to be successful. Success at any price is not genuine success. Often I've had to emphasize to our people that success or failure must be decided in accordance with how we achieved it. So-called success achieved in the wrong way can in fact be failure, and so-called failure accepted in the right way in fact can be the foundation for greater success in the future. It is in these beliefs that we have struggled for democracy, and these beliefs have been upheld by the support of people like you who are the heartland of the democratic endeavor, as Mongolia is the heartland of our ancestors. This is why, coming here among you, I come to appeal to you to help all of us to achieve democracy in the right way. It is not enough to achieve. Achievements have to be made in the right way, in a way of which we can be proud, that we may be able to hold our heads up and say, we have achieved what we want to achieve. We have been able to realize our dreams in the right way. By the realization of our dreams, we have managed to heal old wounds, and we have managed to establish a more positive road for the future of our country and for the world at large. This is our aim. Democracy is not easy to achieve. It is perhaps something that we never achieve completely. It's a goal towards which we must keep progressing over the years. But our young people, those young generations to come, must continue to try to reach. It is in many ways an unachievable goal, and perhaps it is better that way, because it will keep us trying harder and harder, as we will have to do if our world is to progress in the future, because our problems will get more complex as we progress technologically and as our communications make us closer to one another. Closeness does not necessarily mean better relations. We have to work towards better relations. Closeness, in fact, could result in worse relations if we do not handle the new developments in the way that we should. When I appeal to you to help our country to achieve democracy, what I am appealing for is a better understanding of those values which will make it possible for peoples the world over to take over their own destiny, to understand that the most important thing in every country is the people and not the government. It is not government to government relations. It is not government to government relations that are most important. It's people to people relations. Burma is in some ways similar to Mongolia in that we lie between two very powerful neighbors. We are close neighbors of India and China, two of the most powerful nations in the world. Historically, we have maintained friendly relations with both these nations, and this is exactly what we intend to go on doing. We want to be able to show that a small nation like ours is capable of establishing strong and positive and inspiring friendships with large and powerful nations, and that we too have a contribution to make to the world. This is what democracy is all about. Democracy is to enable everybody to make her or his contribution to the betterment of the human race, to the betterment of the world in which we live. Democracy is to produce opportunities for everybody, to recognize everybody's value, to respect everybody because he or she has been born as a member of the human race to which we all belong. Democracy is not an impossible dream, but it is a dream that we have to continue realizing again and again. I quoted in one of my speeches that one of my favorite poems speaks of the dreamer whose dreams come true is the Lord of us all. The supreme human dreams come true. I would like all of us to be these supreme human beings who are brave enough to dream and who are capable enough to realize those dreams. I do believe that there are many of you like this among us. I am particularly grateful for this opportunity to be with you, and I hope that along the course of our conference we will be able to exchange ideas about how to resolve the problems that we all face. Sometimes it may seem as though the problems in one country are quite different from those in another, but in fact, at the root, they're all the same. It is all about reconciling our different aspirations, our different ambitions, about understanding that give and take means we both give and take. There are some who think that give and take means that he takes all and the other gives all. It does not work out like that. We all have to give a little, we all have to take a little. That is what human relationship is about. And that is what democracy is about. That is why democracy means a balance of powers between the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. I bring this up because this balancing of powers is crucial in my country at the moment, and I'm sure it is crucial in other countries as well. We need to understand that this balance is better, not just for our country as a whole, but for each of these individual institutions. The executive is better for having the legislature and the judiciary keep it in its right place, and the legislature is better for its duty to keep the executive and the judiciary in their rightful places. And of course, the judiciary is all the better because of its responsibility to make sure that the executive and the legislature also are living within the rule of law. In my country, as a member of the legislature, I have to say that the legislature is doing very well and making good progress towards democratization. At the same time, we would wish the executive to be more transparent and to be more open in its workings. And as for the judiciary, we're trying to build it up from scratch. And I hope that all of you will help us in this endeavor, because without a strong and independent and reliable judiciary, democracy will always be at risk. I have not talked about an issue which I'm sure many of you are interested in, which is about the economy. It is about economic progress, it is about investment, it is about business. I'm not talking about it here because it is a whole subject in itself. All I wish to say is that we need to progress economically in our country. We need investments, but we need them in the right way. And I hope that I shall have the opportunity to discuss this matter with many of you during the course of today and tomorrow. Once again, may I thank the President for his stalwart support of our movement over so many years, and to thank all of you who have instilled new hope into us every time we came across what seemed in those times incredible obstacles. We managed to overcome those obstacles, and I'm confident that we shall manage to overcome all obstacles in the future through the solidarity of all those people in this world, especially the young people who believe in democratic values and who believe in the value of positive and healthy human relations. Thank you.